welcome to part 4 of the Ford Shelby GT500 build-up, or the Ford Mustang GT500 build-up, whichever way you want to put that one. Doesn't really matter, I guess. But we've now got the stripes down on the body, which is absolutely fantastic. Did have a slight issue when I laid the stripes down, and that's, I think, because I didn't actually, instead of spraying sort of down the bodywork that way when I put the stripes on, I kind of sprayed across that way, which then led to a build-up of paint on the outer edges. So I had to get some 3000 wet and dry sandpaper and just basically gently sand away the sharp edges there from the stripes. That worked okay. That was good. Quite happy with that. One weird thing though that I have noticed, and we just sort of start the story at the beginning, really, on this, I think, is the best way to do it. So the bodywork itself, or in fact all of the parts, like the body, the engine, the brake calipers, and the wing mirrors, they were all treated exactly the same. When I say that, what I mean by that is that all of those parts, they were first treated to 2 coats of the light grey primer, then they all had 2 coats of the hemi orange, and then all of the parts had 2 coats of the pearlescent orange, so they all looked exactly the same, including the engine bay. And then I mixed up the paint for the stripes. Now they've come out a little bit lighter than I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping that they would come out slightly darker than that, so they were almost like half a shade lighter than the actual bodywork itself. But I'm happy with how they come out. There's not a problem. But what I did do is I mixed the pearlescent orange with some pearlescent white, just to bring the orange tone down. I then put the stripes on the bodywork. That was the first thing I did. I then did the engine, and then also the brake discs, and also the wing mirrors. So I did a coat on each, left it for about 10 minutes for all that coat to sort of settle down, and then put another coat over the top of those as the final coat. The weird thing that happened was that the stripes on the body are different to the colour of the engine, and also the brake discs, and also the wing mirrors. And I'm not sure how that's happened, because they've all been treated exactly the same. I mean, if I just sort of like zoom in on the engine sitting on the roof of the car, you can actually kind of see that there is a difference between the two of them. I'm just lost for words as to how that could actually happen. It is a bit weird, really, to be quite honest. But hey ho, never mind. These things happen, I guess. You know, it's not going to detract from the build, obviously. It just means that they're going to be a slightly different colour. I'm just, as I say, scratching my head to work out how the hell that happened. But never mind. But as I say, we've also got the engine bay done as well. That's been coated in the pearlescent as well. Now I've got this part masked off at the moment, because I need to gloss the inside of this area, and that part there just needs to be a semi gloss black, so I've just kept that masked off whilst I'm waiting for that done. I've also got the carpet inside. It just needs a little bit of a shakedown still. And then if we look at the back, that's the actual colour that's going in the interior. So quite happy with the progress on that. Just working on the seats. I have had a little bit of an issue with the this one, which is a burnt sienna, which is the main interior of the car. For some reason, I have no idea why, but in a couple of places where I've masked off, that paint has lifted completely, and it's not just the paint, it's also the primer, so it's actually gone straight back down to the bare plastic. So I've kind of had to, all of those parts I've had to put in a bath of Mr. Muscle's oven cleaner, and really scrub it down to actually sort of, you know, get all of the paint off. Doesn't want to come off really properly with Mr. Muscle's oven cleaner, and that's the weird thing. You know, I left it in a bath of Mr. Muscle's oven cleaner for, must be at least 24 hours, maybe a bit longer than that. Got the parts out, scrubbed them down, and it took absolutely ages to get the paint off. In fact, I ended up repeating the process a couple of times to get the paint off. But you put the slightest bit of masking tape on it and it'll take all the paint off completely straight away, no problem at all whatsoever. So maybe I should have just used masking tape to do that. A bit weird, but yeah, so the interior's kind of slowed down a little bit on that side of thing, because I'm doing a two-tone effect on the inside. And it's, yeah, just as I say, it's just taking me a bit of time to do because of the issues that I'm having with that particular paint. I don't know whether it's the paint or whether it's the actual plastic itself. I have no idea, to be quite honest. It's one or the other. I didn't have the problem with the paint on the actual car itself. Didn't have any problems with that at all. Took the masking tape off, and that didn't rip any of the paint off the body. So who knows? So whether it's just that burnt sienna that's causing the problem, I have no idea, to be quite honest. But yeah, that's about it for the moment, because I'm waffling now. So as soon as I've got some more work done to this, I will come back to you. Now I've got the 2K clear coat down. It's got I'll put 2 coats of the clear coat down on there. Put the first coat down, left it for 10 minutes, and then put the second clear coat down. Unfortunately, between the first and the second coat, a little bit of dust has landed on the bodywork in a couple of places, so that does mean that I'm going to need to wait for this to cure properly, which will most probably be about 3 days, and then I'm going to need to wet sand it and then reapply another top coat to it. But it's no biggie. It still looks pretty good. I mean, hopefully you can see through there. If we bring that a bit closer, you should hopefully be able to see the colour change, or not the colour change, sorry, but you should hopefully be able to see the pearl coming through on that. Let's see if we can bring that a bit closer. Yeah, I think you can see the pearl coming through there. And then we've also got the stripes on the back end of the car as well, which are looking pretty good. We've done the hood, or the bonnet, and we've also got the engine bay clear coated as well, which is fantastic. Happy with the progress on that. So what I'm going to do, whilst I'm waiting for everything to dry up before I sort of wet sand it and then re-clear it, I'm just going to carry on with the interior and get the painting finished on that, because well, I need to get the painting finished before I get the work done for the lighting. I'm going to need to practically build the interior really for the lighting. So I will come back to you as soon as I got some more work carried out. We've got the seats done now. Just need to put a clear coat over the top of those now, just to protect the paint and seal in the decals. The good thing is, on the last Mustang that I did, I used the white decals for the Cobra signs, which look, and I don't know whether you're going to see these actually on camera. Yeah, you can just see them there. That's what they look like. So I used those on the previous one. So I had 2 black ones spare. So I decided to do the black ones on this, which meant that I would also then be able to bring in the black Cobra decals onto the rear seats as well, just for a little bit more detail, which is what I've done, and that's kind of what they look like there. So they're looking good. We've got the seatbelt buckle in there, and then we've just got a couple of knobs on the other side done. Just need to put a red blob on the end of the seat buckle, just to get those looking good. We've also been working on all of the lighting bits and pieces for this, and also getting a few more decals on. So we've got the big decal there, we've got the decal for the buttons on there as well, and then we've also got another decal on there. Now if I get the torch out, you'll be able to see through there and all the way across and down to that part there that we've actually got the decals in place, and they're light up. Obviously this torch is just way too bright and it just washes everything out. I'm actually using orange for this, so everything's going to have like an orange little glow to it. We've also done the same for the doors as well. So on the doors we've got a little bit of, you can see there hopefully, and then also on the lock as well, and that's on both sides. So we've managed to get them done. So we've got both door sides done, and we've also done the stereo system, so that's all plugged in now, and that's looking quite good. That's the stereo system that I made up myself, or copied shall I say. And then if we just put it in from the inside, I mean again that is just because we're just using a white or a really bright maglite torch, that does tend to wash everything out, but you can see the kind of glow that we're going to get from those once we've got the orange bits and pieces in there. So they're all done, which is fantastically good news. We've also got the inside of the engine bay all glossed out as well, which is good. We're just starting to put some of the colours in. We've got some aluminium in there and some matte black in there. What we've also done is put a coat of matte black, semi-gloss black in the wheel wells and also on the bottom of this part. The reason we've had to do that is because that will sit directly on top of the chassis, which is here. That's also now been coated in matte black. But if we get the interior and put that on this like so, get all the pins marked out. This is quite a good kit because the pins do locate really easily. So if we just do that and then turn it over, you'll see hopefully that the underside of the interior, the cabin interior, does actually form part of the chassis there as well. So we've had to paint the underside of that as well, just to make it look the same. One of the things that I also did was the top of the firewall on this is a separate component, and that fits in there. So what I've had to do once I put that in there is I just used a little bit of Mr. Perfect putty and put that in on both sides, and then sprayed over the whole lot, and that should A, fill the gaps in that was there, and then B, hopefully that will then stop any light leaks coming through from the inside. And I believe that's worked. I haven't seen any light leaking through that since I've done that. So those bits are done. I've also now sanded the body back down again. Got rid of all the little lumps and the bumps that were in there. I did use a 2000 grit paper. I wet and dry to do that. I was going to use a 3000 grit, but then I suddenly realised, sorry, excuse me, that the 2K clear from Zero Paints dries absolutely rock hard, and I mean absolutely rock hard. So you just needed a 2000 grit really just to get in there and get rid of the imperfections that were in the bodywork, which it has done now, which is great news. I've also put the, I'm not sure whether you're going to see this. Yes, you are. Good. You can see the Shelby decals on that, and also the decal that goes on top of the spoiler there. So they're in. So the main aim of the game today is to get that recoated and looking nice. Hopefully we can do that. I'm toying at the moment. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use 3mm LED bulbs, or whether I'm going to use the LED tape to do the lighting for the dashboard and the center console, and also for the windows. I'm not sorry, for the door pockets. I'm not really sure at the moment which way I'm going with that, to be fair, because they both have their merits. You know, they both got the plus sides to them, but they've also got the downfalls as well. So I'm not really sort of too sure which way I'm going to be going with that. I'm going to need to make up my mind pretty soon how I'm going to do that, because well, if I don't, the build's going to stall, and it's going to take forever to get it finished whilst I sit there umming and ahhing all about it all. I mean, there is plenty of work to get on with. I've still got quite a lot of the stuff under the engine bay to build. I've also got a lot of sort of, you know, the suspension components, etc., to build. You know, so yeah, there's plenty to be getting on with before I decide which way I'm going to go. But eventually I'm going to need to decide which way I am going to go with that. Yeah, I'm not at the moment just entirely sure, but there you go. Just a quick update. I think this video now is going to be long enough, or too long maybe, I'm not sure. Depends on your point of view, I guess. So I'm going to leave it there, and I will come back to you in part 5, where hopefully we've made some more progress to this. So until then, thanks for watching, and please do take care.